Hello everybody! So on Saturday I did a craft fair, and this video is just basically going to be a little summary of everything, so the preparation, the setup, and also a summary of how I did, what went well, what didn't go so well, my prices, that kind of thing. So if you're looking to do your own crochet craft fair, this will be a great video for you guys to watch to get an idea of what to expect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with some clips that I filmed the night before the craft fair and at the craft fair, and then I'm going to do a summary afterwards talking about my sales. So my apologies for the weird angle, but unfortunately the tripods are packed away in that bag just there, and I just want to make sure that I don't forget them, so I didn't want to risk taking it out just to film this video. It is the evening before the craft fair, so this is just going to be a quick sort of summary thing before the main part of the video will be filmed tomorrow. But basically I've put all of my stock into bags, so that's them there in the bag. So I've got hats, scarves, and these are just like they're headscarves I have, but I'm going to use them as just like tablecloths to make the table more pretty. So I've got this white one with like red flowers on it and stuff. I've got this pretty purple sparkly one. I've got this brown one. Got another purple one under here, and of course I've got my provisions, popcorn for in case I get hungry. I've also got my signs, so it's Mother's Day coming up here in the UK, so I've got this sign that I'm going to put up on my stall to remind people to get their mum a Mother's Day gift. As well as my crochet items, I'm going to be selling custom book packages, so basically they are hand-wrapped books, and I've got a handmade bookmark that comes with them, so I'm going to be selling those for £5 with a free bookmark this time. I'm also offering my items on sale this time, so my hats are usually £15, but I'm doing them for £10, and my scarves are usually £25, but I'm doing them for £15. You can tell this has been taped on because the first time I accidentally wrote £25 crossed out and then just wrote £25 again, so I've had to tape this on top with the actual price and a lovely little drawing of a scarf and hat there. And then finally I've got this sign that says ask about our premium range. We have shawls, baby blankets and more, and this is going to be hung on the rail that I'm going to have. So basically the reason my tripod is packed isn't so I can film videos there, because I will use it there, but that's not the main purpose. The main purpose is to use as a rail. So it's got like a crossbar that's going to run across the top, and I'm going to hang on there my premium items so that everyone can see them at the back of my stall, because otherwise I just wouldn't have space on my table to display them properly. So the rail's going to run along the back, and yeah, the tripod's going to hold it up. So I just wanted to do this really quick catch up now. I'll do a proper sort of show you around the stall tomorrow once it's all set up. But yeah, good night guys, I'll see you in the morning. So I've just pulled up outside Lymington Masonic Hall, which is where the craft fair is being held. I've got my stuff all in the car ready to take in. I expect there'll be other people in, so it'll probably be a bit awkward if I'm talking to the camera. So what I'll do, I'll film the sort of setup of it, but I won't speak at the time, and when I go home, I'll record some voiceover and put that over the top. So yeah, see you in a bit. So this is my stall table. It's right in front of the door, and this is the space I'll be working with. So it's 6 by 2 feet. Then I put my headscarves on there to give it a nice bit of difference in colour. So I've got the purple one on the left, then another purple one. I've got this brown one with the pink and white flowers. And then I've got this cream-based one with the red flowers. And I think it just makes it look that bit prettier and that bit nicer. So this is the stall once it's all set up. So I've got my scarves, I've got my shawls, I've got my hats. So on the edge here I've got my scarves in a box to make it nice rainbow colours. Then I've got some of my other scarves laid out in sort of lines and in little spirals. This scarf here is the pattern I designed, which I'll be doing a video on very soon. This is a cowl in the plush tweed yarn, and this is a cowl based on my scarf pattern that I adapted. So I've actually got a sale on. The hats are only £10 today and the scarves are £15. So these are the hats, and I sort of spread these out partially on top of each other, but you can still clearly see each hat differently. Then I've got the brighter colours on the left there, and I've got a bit more neutral colours on the right just to sort of spread it out. This is actually a kid size hat, that's a kid size hat, and that's a kid size hat, so they're there at the front. I've got a nice range of coasters in different colours, so I sort of try to make it a bit of variation there, and those are being sold as £2 each, or 2 for £3, which I think is a decent price for coasters. Then I've got my custom book packages here, so each book's laid out with a little note card saying what genre it is and what to expect inside the book. And I've also got my bookmarks here, so I've got some crochet ones there. I've got these ones I did like little art, they're using Copic markers. And yeah, I just think it's a nice layout. And then I've got the blankets at the back, so these are my baby blankets just there. I've got my sign saying they're the premium items, and then so it's shawls, baby blankets and more. And then I've got my shawls there and the hat and scarf set. I did decide to mix my stall around a bit because things weren't selling so quickly, which I'll talk a bit more about at the end. But what I did, I basically got rid of the section with the books and spread everything out a bit more. So I've only got my crochet items on display. I've got the premium items still there at the back, although I did move a couple of them to the right hand side there. And then I spread the hats out a bit more. The scarves are a bit more spread out. And yeah, as you can see, I've still got a lot of stock left. So as you can probably tell by that last clip, not very much sold, and I want to talk a bit about why that was, because unfortunately this was really unfortunate circumstances, and basically with everything surrounding the coronavirus right now, the footfall at the fair was a lot lower than usual, and basically the other stall holders were saying they've never seen it so dead. It's usually about 5 times busier, and so I missed out on a lot of people coming in. And the second thing that really affected the sales more than anything else, I would say probably, is the fact that where I was positioned, I was right in front of the door when you came in. Now when I initially came there, I thought, oh, this is great, I'll be the first thing they see. Except that's not how it really works, because what happens, most people come in either in like a couple or in a group, and they're not looking forward, they're looking at each other, and they naturally walk off to one of the sides and go around the fair. So a lot of people were completely missing my stall. Also, a lot of people tend to like conglomerate right in front of the entrance, just talking on their phone or chatting, which means I was completely blocked from view from a lot of people entering the craft fair. So a lot of people didn't even see my stall at all, but simply because of where it was positioned. So I think if I ever do another craft fair, which I'm hoping I will, I'm planning to hopefully do some in the autumn, but I'm definitely going to request to not be in that position, because I think that really affected me, simply because people were going around the outside, and obviously when they come back they're facing towards the entrance, so they're not facing towards my stall, so they're completely missing it. And one of the other stall holders did actually say to me, he said like, wow, people are really sort of missing your stall because they're going around the outside. So that wasn't just in my head, like the other stall holder recognised it as well. But I was lucky in that I did manage to make my stall feedback. A lot of the other stall holders didn't. The poor girl next to me, she had like these amazing handmade soaps, and she didn't even make the stall feedback, and I felt so bad for her because her stuff was really nice. And I think it was just literally a case of less people coming, and the ones that were as well, they were sort of walking around very quickly, keeping their distance. So I think everything with the virus has really affected this particular craft fair, and I certainly won't be booking anymore until it's all blown over. So I'll talk a bit more in a moment about all the details of everything, but I want to get a bit more into what I did sell. So I kept track of it all in this very nice Harry Potter style notebook that my friend got me. So the fair was open between 10 AM and 4 PM. So at 10:24, I sold the plush tweed hat. So if you saw my hat video, I actually said, because the plush tweed one was made with the Sirdar plush tweed yarn in the colour Rocco, and it was like so incredibly soft, and I literally said in the video, if someone touches it, they'll just have to buy it because they'll be so obsessed with how soft it was, and that is literally what happened. So one of the other stall holders was just sort of going around chatting, and she picked up the hat sort of casually, and she was like, my gosh, it's so soft. And then she sort of kept going back and forth and said, you know what, I'm just going to buy it. So that was at 10:24. Then at 10:56, so as you can see from the start of the video, I was also selling these little book packages. So I have sort of a separate business, well, I say business, it's a tiny little thing that I do, but it's called My Marvellous Books, and basically it's kind of like a blind date with a book style thing, where I choose a really good book, I wrap it up, include a handmade bookmark, and I write sort of a short summary, so people don't have to read an entire blurb, they can just sort of have suggestions. So I sold one of my books for £5 with a free bookmark, and they chose a purple crocheted bookmark. Then I didn't get another, so that was at 10:56, and then I didn't get another sale until 13:02, so over 2 hours, and that was just literally because it was so dead. And then at 13:02, I sold the plush tweed cowl, so that was made with the same yarn as the hat, but I made a cowl version. So I sold that, and that was for £10 as well. I can't remember if I mentioned before, but the plush tweed hat was also £10, so I sold those for £10 each. Then it was another nearly 2.5 hours, because that was at 13:02 I sold the cowl, and then at 15:25 I sold one of my navy and grey hats. So that was made with the Karen X Pantone yarn, and it was a navy and grey one, and this one did have a pom-pom on the top, and this was to a guy. So he came to my table, and he was sort of looking at the hats. He's like, you haven't got anything for guys, have you? I was like, actually I have. And I showed him the blue and navy one. I explained that I'd made it a bit bigger so it could fit sort of like a man-sized head, and he tried it on, and I sort of showed him a mirror so he could see what he looked like. He really liked it. So I sold that one for £10, and then at 15:35 I sold one of my shawls. So this was the Rainbow Pastel shawl. So this was like using the Lion Brand Landscapes yarn. I think the colour's called Cabana. So it was kind of like a metallic pastel kind of rainbow colour. And that was in a corner to corner stitch going up, and then I used an Elizabeth stitch to pull it round, which sort of gave it a really nice shape that draped over the shoulders. Now initially I had wanted to sell that one for £45, but to be honest, so at £15.35 I'd made exactly £35, which was the cost of the stall fee, and I really wanted to make a profit. So I dropped my price for the shawl from £45 to £35 because she was umming and ahhing, and you know, she wanted a bit lower price, and I thought, I may as well do it. I do want to at least make some kind of profit. And on this woman though, she was great. She was absolutely lovely, but she was so umming and ahhing over it because she doesn't like the colour mauve, and there was like bits of purple in the shawl, but it had like lots of other colours that pulled it all together. So she went off to look in the mirror, and I swear she was gone for 10 minutes. But she'd left like her coats and stuff with me, so I knew she hadn't run off with it. But she was gone for like 10 minutes deciding. But in the end, she decided she really liked it, and her husband was with her, and he said he really liked how it looked on her. But yes, and that was the last sale I made. So yeah, basically I didn't make my booth fee back until just about half an hour before the store closed, and then I made over it 10 minutes later. But as you can sort of tell from the distance between the sales, it was pretty dead. In fact, I'm going to compare that to the craft fair I did in November. So I did a craft fair in November, which was my very first craft fair. And in that one I sold, I won't give you a rundown of what I sold, I'll just give you when I sold it. So I made a sale at 10:23, 10:45, 10:50, 12 o'clock, 12:32, 13:01, 13:43, 14:01, 14:32, 14:42, 14:52 and 14:53, and that craft fair was only 10 till 3, so that was like less time, and I sold a lot more, so I made £106 at that one. So you can sort of tell the difference that it did make, having less footfall essentially, and also with the sort of scare around this whole coronavirus thing really affecting people's buying habits. Like someone else pointed out to me that a lot of people aren't buying as much for their handmade stuff simply because they're worried about job security, because they might have to be out of work for a while things blow over. So they're not really looking to be spending on things they want, just they're focusing more on things they need. And a lot of other stall holders at the fair didn't do very well, especially the handmade ones. The ones who were selling sort of lower, cheaper goods, more mass-produced goods, they were doing a lot better. But the ones who were selling handmade stuff, like the girl next to me with her lovely soap and the people selling their art prints, they were doing a lot worse than they usually do. So yeah, it was just really unfortunate circumstances, really. I wouldn't say it's put me off craft fairs. I'll be honest, I did have a bad time at that one, simply because I spent so many hours of the day just standing there, my feet absolutely aching, and no one coming to my stall because they couldn't see it. It was so frustrating when there was someone just blocking my stall view, and I just wanted to say, excuse me please, can you please get out of the way? But I didn't want to be rude, so yeah, that was a bit frustrating. And as you'll see in the video as well, what I did, because it wasn't selling so well, I did decide to sort of move my stall about a bit. So I started with the crochet stuff on the left and my Marvellous books on the right, and in the end I decided, you know, maybe I just need people to be able to focus more on one thing. So I packed away all of my Marvellous book stuff and I spread the crochet out a bit more. I'm not sure if that helped or not. I did get a couple more sales about an hour after doing that, so I won't know for certain if it made a difference. But I do think because my books did very well at the craft fair rather in November, I probably will still keep them when I do my next craft fair. I'm thinking I'll probably wait until sort of September, October time, because I didn't make enough profit really at this one to be able to justify potentially losing the stall fee at the next one. And I was thinking of maybe doing a summer craft fair, but I didn't sell as much stock as I'd like, which means I'm going to have more space taken up by the stock that already exists, and I don't want to be making even more stuff because obviously summer craft fairs will have very different items. I am wondering as well whether hats and scarves was the way to go, because a lot of it was leftover stock from the previous craft fair, but did make more. And the thing is, where I am in the UK, it is still cold for another couple of months. Like, it's still very much hat and scarf weather, but I do think maybe people already have their hats and scarves, and also I think there's this mentality of we want summer to be around the corner, so we kind of pretend that it's not going to be as cold as it is for so long. Like, I think a lot of people in the UK kind of forget that it doesn't really get warm until mid to late May over here. So, but yeah, I'm hoping that if I do another craft fair in October, I'll do a bit better. With my prices, so what I normally do, what I did in November, my hats were £15, but I took them down to £10 because initially I was using the craft fair as a way to get some spending money for a holiday, but unfortunately that's also been cancelled because of this whole virus thing. But yeah, so I took this, I'd already made the signs by the time we found out about the cancellation, so I decided to keep it at the lower price. I don't think the price made too much of a difference. I feel like the ones who bought it possibly would have bought it at the higher price, and I don't think anyone who didn't buy, you know, it wasn't price related. I think it was simply a case of it's not for them. I did have quite a few people come up to me and tell me how much they liked my stuff and that they thought it was very clever, but they just didn't really need any hats or anything like that right now. So I try not to take it too much to heart. I don't think it's a comment on what I've made, more a state of the times. But yeah, like, I enjoyed the craft fair experience last time I went, so it's something I still want to do. It's something I still will enjoy in the future, I think. So I'm planning to wait until this whole thing blows over, because I don't want to risk booking another one if it's going to be this bad in a few months still. But I'm really hoping, just for the sake of everyone who's got it or might catch it, that it will go over soon, because it's just horrible to think, like, you know, it's bad for me that I missed out on my craft fair, but, you know, I've got to put it in perspective of at least I'm still healthy and everything. So I just really hope that it all blows over soon, and, you know, I worry about all the people who are potentially going to catch it and get really, really ill from it. So, yeah, that's my number one sort of thought right now, is I just hope people get better and I hope people are okay. But craft fair wise, I'm still hoping to do a couple in autumn, and if I do, I will do summaries of those as well. I really hope this video has been interesting for you guys. I'm really glad I got to share this experience with you, and I think it's really important as well in sort of any sort of situation to share the good and the bad as well. So, you know, I'm glad I made the sales. It didn't go as well as I thought it would go, but I want to be honest with you guys and completely open. Like, I'm not going to try and pretend that I did better than I did. But, you know, I'm not going to let it get me down. Like I said, it's never going to stop me crocheting. I still absolutely love to crochet, and I think that's another thing as well. All the items I didn't sell, I still got so much enjoyment from making them, so I still had that positive experience, and eventually, hopefully, I'll sell them. So, yeah, keeping my chin up. So thanks very much for watching this video. Please do like the video, drop a comment down below to let me know of your craft fair experiences, and please subscribe to the channel for more crochet videos in the future. Bye bye.